Welcome back to the Dr. Des Show. I'm your host, Dr. Des, and today we are going to be talking all about being a consultant and applying to RFPs. So I'm going to give you my top 3 tips that you need to make sure that you are writing down, make sure that you are doing when you are applying to these RFPs. But first, make sure that you like this video, make sure that you subscribe to our channel, and make sure that you always leave me some comments, some feedback on how we're doing. If you are watching this on YouTube, then definitely subscribe and leave some comments below as you go along. But if you're watching this or listening to this on Apple or Spotify, make sure you leave me some feedback, because feedback is how other people find my channel. Feedback is how I grow, right? Let me know what you want to see more of, what you liked, and everything like that, because trust me, I read them all. So getting started here. Now, an RFP, for my people that have never heard that term before, is a request for proposal. And basically, it's a fancy way of saying a company wants to hire a consultant, right? And they're going to give you the entire scope of work of what they want. They want you to be able to develop an evaluation for their homeless program that they have going on within the city, right? They want you to do an end-to-end evaluation. They want you to do some focus groups. They want you to do some key informant interviews. They want you to come in and do this. It's going to tell you the entire scope of what they want you to do, right? And a lot of times, not all the time, it will include a price, right? So they may say, we're going to give you $40,000 to come in and do this evaluation, right? Now you can make a budget, you can do everything. But most importantly, that RFP is going to tell you exactly what they want, right? That is your cheat code to actually landing the RFP. So think of it coming from a perspective of, guys, we talk about job opportunities and career development, but now we're talking a little bit more about the entrepreneurship consulting side. But that RFP is your cheat code, okay? So you want to make sure that you are following it to a T. They tell you they want 8 pages, you do 8 pages, no more, no less, right? You want to make sure that you are doing everything that is outlined within there, okay? So now, RFP writing, it's similar to grant writing, okay? Very similar in that you have to identify, okay, what their needs are and then articulate how you are actually going to fulfill that need. Some RFPs want you to submit 2-3 pages. Some may want 20 pages, right? Some may want, if you're getting into like the federal government contract, which we don't really talk about too much here and within the club, but if you're getting into that federal government contracting space, they may want 100 pages. And your girl does not do 100-page contracts. I just can't right now, right? I don't have the capacity. Maybe one day if I'm trying to get into that federal space, but as of right now, no. But I say that to say, there's no standard like, okay, this is what an RFP is going to look like all the time. It really just depends on the organization and what they want, okay? And if you are in the public health club, I want you to pause. My first $40,000 public health contract came when I had no website, no logo, really no obvious brand in sight. I just started. And basically, I responded to this request for quotes from CDC Foundation. I had my digital portfolio, I had my resume, and I knew they were done to a T, and I put it out there and I landed the contract. I was shocked. But that goes to show you don't need a fancy website. You don't need a whole lot. You just need to start. And a lot of times you just need to start with guidance. I had other people that were in my circle that were doing this, that I looked up to, that I asked a few questions to, but then I took action, right? Now, if you need some help, you need some direction, join the Public Health Club. If you want to get started landing contracts, becoming a consultant, join the club. There are resources, there are help, and most importantly, there are consulting opportunities that are posted there every week, ranging from data analysis to evaluation to strategic planning to so many different things that align with what you can do. Grant writing, all of these things, right? Join the club, comment club down below, and I'll send you all the information to join the Public Health Club, and I hope to see you there. Go in there right now and go ahead and bookmark the workshop, Best Practices in Applying to RFPs, because we had a workshop with Dr. Brittany James and Dr. Leah Herbert. And listen, when I tell you, they broke it down. Dr. Brittany is a seasoned pro when it comes to applying to RFPs. And Dr. Leah actually won her first RFP from the club. She was actually one of my self-contracting and 6-figure students. But they broke down all of their strategies, all of the things that they're doing. So you got some insider knowledge. I actually pulled some things from their workshop to share with you guys today. But I definitely want, if you're a member, go ahead and check that out. If you're not a member, go ahead and join the club so you can listen into that and take some notes. Don't come in without paper and pencil or, Microsoft Word up or something. Take your notes and let's go. Let's go apply. My first tip for you guys today is going to be to only apply to RFPs that you can actually deliver on. Now, you may see, once you get in the public health club, you may see all of these RFPs from all of these organizations wanting people to come in and do some little part-time work to make a lot of money on the side, right? And you're like, oh my God, I want to do that. I've kind of done that before. I want to do that. But I want you to not waste your time applying for things that you have no chance of getting. And in order to determine if you have no chance of getting it, number one, you got to really fully read the RFP. You will be surprised at how many people do not read the RFP. But number two, after you've read the RFP, what I want you to do is just go through it and see, okay, do I have these skills? Can I do this work? And not only can I do this work, but can I show proof that I've done this work? That's the big thing, is can I actually show proof that I've done it and done it well, right? Because they may ask for samples of your work. They may ask for references. So you want to make sure that when that happens, you come with it, right? Like, you're not just like, oh, I think I kind of did this. I kind of did it a little bit. I may have done this school. Like, no, when you are applying to RFP, you got to be ready. I always tell people, if you're going to be a consultant and you're going to go that route in public health, then you're going to need at minimum 5 years of direct work experience, not school experience, direct work experience. It's different than applying for a job, right? If you are applying for a job, I always tell you, like, listen, your school experience can count as work experience. But when you're applying for an actual consulting opportunity, it's a little bit different because they want you there for a good time, not a long time. All right. They don't want you to come in. They're not going to teach you how to do these things. They're not going to train you. They need you to come in and hit the ground running. You are the expert in this situation. OK, so only apply to the contracts that you can actually deliver on. And that means, do you have real work experience doing this? Can you show samples of that proof that you've done? And will you need to learn a new skill, or will you need to hire out for someone? And if you need to hire out, that's completely fine, right? To hire a subcontractor. But where are you going to find these people? Do you have them in your network, right? Those are things that you need to make sure that you are thinking about as you're going through the RFP and seeing, like, okay, should I even spend my time applying for that, right? So if the answer is yes to everything, right, then I want you to go for it. Just go for it, because the way you get better is you write them. You keep going. You keep applying. You keep trying. And listen, my friends, like, it's just kind of like jobs, right? You may get rejected. You may not hear back, whatever. But you got to keep going, because if you give up, then nothing will happen, right? If you give up, then you never know. You will never land a contract if you give up. So keep going, okay? And in that best practices in applying to RFP workshop, Dr. Brittany, she said that, if she can't profit at least 40%, then it's not worth it. So when we're thinking about money, right? If you're thinking about that last tip that I said about hiring out, right? Maybe I need to subcontract with somebody else. If you're going to subcontract, how much are you going to pay them? And her rule of thumb is, if I can't profit at least 40% from it, then it's not worth my time doing. So that's something to think about when you're doing budget planning, right? So like I said, guys, make sure that you tune into that best practices in applying to RFPs workshop that's in the club right now on demand for you to take. You get so many tips from Dr. James and Dr. Leah. So the tip number 2 is going to be organize before you apply. Now, applying to RFPs, if you ever apply to RFP, it's work, right? It's not just, okay, I'm going to write a little paragraph. I'm going to write a cover letter. I'm going to write 1-2 pages, and then we're going to keep going. No, they want an organizational background. They want, an actual budget. They want your actual scope of work. They want your plan and how you're going to do this. They want your timeline, right? They want all of these things. And one of the things that you need to do is, if you're really going to do this, go ahead and get some tools in place to organize, right? I use Google Drive, and that has served me well, because also when I'm partnering out with people, I'm able to share those files with them, right? So using something like Google Drive, I used to use OneDrive, but got a little wonky for me. Like, it was just people weren't able to access it. It was a lot going on. Google Drive has definitely served its purpose and done me well. I know a lot of people use Notion. I've never used Notion. I've been on the other side of using Notion where I had someone that I was hiring out for something. They used Notion and I was in their portal, and I was like, this is the coolest thing ever. So Notion may be on my list to check out and use, but if you don't have a tool yet, then you may want to check out Notion, right? In order to use, to really keep your stuff organized, your files organized, be able to share seamlessly with whether it's partners, whether it's clients, whatever it may be. You need some type of platform to be able to share, right? So keep that organized, have those files in place. Then also, I want you to build a digital portfolio. Now, if you're in the club, if you've taken my Subcontracting to Six Figures course, then you know what a digital portfolio is. I'm sure you probably have one. I probably looked at your portfolio. We talked about it. You've seen my portfolio. But if this is new to you and you've never heard of it, get a digital portfolio, right? And really, a digital portfolio is just compilations of your work, okay? Samples of your work. And you may be like, Dr. Des, I'm in public health. How do I have samples of my work? Listen, my friends, it is very easy to have samples of your work. Let's say you are on the data analytics end, right? Show me some analyses that you run, right? Show me those reports. Or, block out some of the things. Show me samples of those reports, right? Put those in a file and organize them so I can see what you can do, right? And then label them. Say, hey, I used, I did Excel pivot tables here. I worked with R and did these particular coding here to do this, right? Really lay it out what you offer within that, because that makes a big difference, because now you're able to show them. And you can do the same thing with job interviews too, and applying for jobs. I always recommend that as well. But within my digital portfolio, because I have focused a lot on programmatic type work, I have a lot of examples of programs that I've developed, right? So I may have, if I've done like a health equity program and developed that, I may have the actual RFP that I put together to put funding out for the programs, right? I may have samples of that. I may have actual graphics that I developed for the programs. I may have like an infographic that I developed that shows our statistics, our things that we've done. I may have like just bullet points, just really showcasing like, here's my accomplishments, here's what I've done. I may have samples of a presentation that I put together, right? So it's just different things that you can put in there. There really is no limit. However, I do have a workshop within the club called the Digital Portfolio Workshop for consulting and for your career. So guys, like, if you're listening to this and you're not in the public health club, like, I'm gonna tell y'all again, get in the club, because it's one thing to learn these things, but then it's another thing to actually do them and actually have guidance doing them, okay? Because you save yourself so much time, so much energy by just throwing things at the wall and seeing what sticks, right? I know you probably sparked some ideas already from this conversation and from a lot of previous ones that we've had. If you ever attended one of our workshops or trainings, then I know for a fact you have sparked a lot of ideas. You have thought about a lot of things. But I want you guys to make sure you commit to actually taking action, because when these ideas just live in your head, that's where they're going to stay. If you don't, you taking action right now is the difference from you staying in this same spot where you are versus you making $40,000 in about 6 months, landing your first contract, right? If you don't start, it won't happen. So I want you guys to make sure that you really, really, really start, right? You can do a system like, use your Mondays for learning. So I know if you work full time, it's a little harder, but you can always listen to some podcasts, right? You can always listen to my workshop. Like, you can just play it in the car on your commute to work. If you're going to work on your lunch break, listen to it, right? Take some notes on there when you got a little downtime at work. Listen to some things, take some notes, use that for learning, and have an actual schedule of how you're going to learn and what you're going to do, okay? Because that makes a difference, right? Use that Monday for learning, then maybe use your Fridays for actually taking action. Okay, what did I learn on Monday? Let me see, what are 3 things I can take action on Friday to get me a little bit closer, right? Maybe it's actually reviewing an RFP in the club. Even if I'm not ready to apply, maybe I'm going to pull an RFP and I'm going to review it, and I'm going to see what aligns with what I can do. I'm going to see what skills are necessary, and I'm going to see how can I build my portfolio to really align with this area, right? So you have to keep going, right? And build that repository so you can always reply smarter, faster, and just better, because once you have like your organizational background down, now that's a file you can kind of keep, and you can just edit and tailor it for the next RFP. When you are applying to RFPs, you should not be applying to 20 different ones that focus on 20 different things. No, you want to stay in your niche area, okay? That is one of the most important things, because a lot of times you may go in and you may say, okay, Dr. Des, I can do project management, I can do evaluation, I can do, data analysis, but no, pick one thing, pick a niche down, and then go, because you doing all of these things, that's a whole different RFP. Just like if you're applying to a job that's focusing on qualitative analysis and you have like your resume focuses in on program management, you need to change your whole resume, right? That's a whole new resume. Same thing with RFPs. If you're going to apply to a data one, then that's a whole new RFP proposal you got to put together than one that you apply for to manage a program, right? So those are things you want to make sure that you're thinking about. But if you're applying to similar ones, then what you can do is have that information already ready to go. And all you got to do is tweak a few things so you're not getting as burnt out. Because a lot of times people get burned out while doing this. And that is one of the main reasons. You're trying to do everything. Stop trying to do everything. Niche down, okay? That is one of the most important things that I want you to make sure that you take away from this, okay? And number 3 is show up like an actual business, okay? This is big business over here, not little business, all right? Show up like a business ready to go, because even if you're doing this as a side hustle, you are a business. And even if you're like, Dr. Des, I don't have my LLC in order, you don't have to have your LLC in order to start your business and start getting contracts. Now, I do recommend you to do it, because the number one thing with having an LLC is, let's say Jane got a contract from CDC Foundation. Jane got this $50,000 contract from CDC Foundation to do X, Y, and Z work, right? She does the work. She doesn't have her LLC in place. She does the work, and they are not happy, right? And they're like, oh my God, Jane did something that breached this part of our contract. Now we are going to sue Jane, okay? We're coming at them. They got legal teams. You don't. But we are coming after Jane, right? And if you have an LLC, what happens is they're going to come after your business, not you. If they come after you with no LLC, they're coming after your house, your dog, your cars, all of that, right? Once you have that LLC, now that is a separate entity. That is a business. They're going to come after your business assets, not your personal assets. So that is one of the most important reasons to make sure that you do have your business structure set up, okay? Treat it like a business. And if you are going to apply to RFPs and you are partnering out, now, one thing in the club, you can partner with so many people on these RFPs. So we post that weekly updated list of requests for proposals, consulting opportunities, right? And within that, you can comment on them and find people to go in on it with you. Let's say I have all the program management knowledge in the world, but your girl does not want to do an evaluation. That's fine, right? I can subcontract out that evaluation to give it to someone else to be able to do it. And they can do it, they can take it, and bam, get it done. However, because I am a business though, even if it's my friend who I've known for 10, 15 years, right? We went to school together. We did it all together. Have a partnership agreement in place. And that may be a subcontractor agreement, whatever it may be. Have a formal contract with actual deliverables of things that need to be done in them, right? Make sure you have that. Have things spelled out in specific. If you were in my subcontract in the 6 figures course, then just log in and you'll be able to have an actual template of what a partnership agreement looks like. And just download that and tweak it to fit whatever you're doing. But go ahead and make sure that you're setting up contracts in place, that you're signing a contract, that you're not doing work without a contract, because that's how things get messy. You want things to be clear. And so many people make that mistake. Like you're going off of word of mouth, or you're going off of, oh, I know this person. I've known this person for a minute and they'll never do me dirty or whatever. And they won't do you dirty until they do. So you want to make sure that you are crossing the T's, dotting the I's. That is a big, big, big thing. Okay. You are now a business, and it starts the moment you turn your mind on and say, I'm gonna do this. Now you are a business. All right. It's no, oh, I gotta wait till it's official. No, you are now a business. So make sure that you are doing these things. Okay. And those were my top 3 tips, guys. Like, those are things that trip people up a lot of times, but you can do this. And if you want to start a consulting business, if you want to grow as a consultant, if you want to land contracts, if you want to do this as your full-time job one day, join the Public Health Club if you are not already. Go ahead, take a look at our consulting opportunities list. It is live. It is there, ready for you to go. Weekly updated list of RFPs. There for you to go. There are resources there. That best practices in applying to RFP workshop is there on demand right now for you to take as soon as you get in there. That digital portfolio workshop is on demand for you to take as soon as you get in there. That it is. What does a great digital portfolio look like? Glad you asked. I have a whole workshop where I walk you through it and show you what it looks like and what you should include in it within the club. Okay. No excuses for anything. All right. So that is literally one of my mantras. Like, there's no excuse to not do anything. We live in a time where information is so abundant, where you can get information just everywhere. And one bad thing, though, is like a lot of times you may not get great information, but I want you guys to make sure that you vet where your information comes from and go to a credible source. Okay. I make sure that my information is credible, my information is relevant, and everything. But like I said, information is out there. Do your homework. If you know somebody that's in the club, ask them about it. We have almost 700 members in the club right now at the time of me recording this. You probably know somebody that is in the club or that has joined the club, right? Join, come, connect, and grow in your business. All right, guys. This has been an amazing episode. If you like this episode, please share it with a friend. Please comment. Please subscribe to the channel and let me know how you liked it. Share it. Tag me on LinkedIn. Tag me on Instagram and let me know how you liked it. But all right, guys, I will see you all next time. See ya.